Welcome to Health, Wealth, Wisdom Parents Edition Super Summit. Your host for this session is Dr. Ali Lankarani, affectionately known as Dr. L. Dr. L is an award-winning clinical neuroscientist. He's an international speaker and best-selling author, and the founder and creator of Role Model Maker and the Amazing Parents Network. He's also the organizer of the Health, Wealth, Wisdom events. He's got another amazing guest coming right up. Take it away, Dr. L.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back. Super excited to have you guys. Amazing engagement and participation. Thank you for staying with us throughout the day. I hope that you've been receiving tons of content. I hope that you have been downloading all the gifts and you are taking notes and having lots of takeaways for the finale. This is one of my most favorite parts of the Health, Wealth, Wisdom Summit, and specifically the August one, because this is the only time we get to do this until we have more missions, maybe next year. But for the time being, over the past 2 years, both last year and now this year, we've had the privilege of having our community members go ahead, make a plan, go to a different part of the world and make profound changes and have big influences on the lives of many people whom they might never see again. So it is definitely with my pleasure to introduce to you guys Miss Annette Wilson, the main person that was responsible for putting this event together, doing most of the fundraising, encouraging and engaging the communities as well as the nonprofit and the NGOs on the other side, and ultimately making the trip along with her son over there. So give her a big round of applause and a warm welcome. Annette, thank you so much for being here and talking about your experience. It is my hope for you guys listening to really be inspired by this, to understand that our community is behind you and your families in being able to be a change maker, being able to go ahead and improve the world for the better. And all you have to do is simply reach out to us and ask, and we will find a way to support you. With that being said, Annette, thank you for being here. I know that you had a long trip, you did a lot, and you're still recovering from it. So, with that being said, please tell us a little bit more about yourself, first of all, what you are traditionally known for, and how you got inspired about this mission, where the idea came from, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm excited. I'm always excited to talk about our Tanzania mission. James, my son, was able to go with me this year. Hopefully, he'll jump in from time to time. He is working today, but he did say that he would try to jump in as he's able to. So hopefully, we will see him. Um, he'll jumping in, and then I'll let him do some talking too. Again, my name is Annette Evans Wilson, and I am the founder of U Life Skills and Leadership Educational Foundation. Now, when I started this program, the plan was just to have it here in the United States, to work with teenagers and to help them gain leadership skills and to help adults understand how great and how wonderful teenagers are. I actually coined the term teenitude to help them understand that teens don't really have attitude; they have teenitude. They're learning who they are, and becoming who they're becoming, and that if we help them understand who they are and who they're becoming, then they don't have to have attitude. They can become those great, wonderful adults who they need to be. And this is what I was really devoted to, what I really, really was wanting to do. Last year, we were invited to go to Tanzania with another organization, and I brought my program there. Um, and I loved working with the people. But there was one part that was just a little bit sad at the beginning. And that was, see, we use Taking Flight with DISC. And Taking Flight with DISC is a program where we do personality analysis. And we tell you kind of what your personality style is based on birds. So your personality style, you've got the eagle, or you've got the parrot, or you've got the dove, or you've got the owl personality. And we were told, oh, yeah, we can really use this. This looks like a really great program. But, oh my goodness, there's always that but. And as soon as you hear that, you know there's a problem. Well, I found out that the but was we can't use the birds. For one thing, in Tanzania, the owl is evil. It has an evil connotation. So can you imagine telling somebody that their
You must have been
personality,
heartbroken when you found out about it when you were there.
yeah, sorry, but your personality is evil. So that just wouldn't work. And the eagle. Well, the eagle is, we would see that as the dominant personality, right? Well, they don't really have very many eagles in Tanzania. It's not a thing like it is here. So once again, it would be hard for us to convince somebody from Tanzania that an eagle is dominant. So again, it was the idea of we really like this program, but we can't use it like this. Okay, not a problem. I wasn't there for my program. That's not why I went to Tanzania last year. I went to Tanzania last year to serve the people. I was there for them. I wasn't there for me. And so I did. I served them. I loved them. And when they invited me back this year, and they asked me if I could do something with my program that would make it work for them, I said, absolutely. And I came up with on Safari with Disc. And instead of birds, we used safari animals. And I worked with them together to develop the animals that we came up with. And instead of the birds, they are now using, and I got to think this through always because I go back and forth with them. They are using the lion, and they are using the rabbit, and they are using the giraffe, and they are using the elephant. And so that's with on safari with disc is those are the four animals, the safari animals that are being used to represent the personality styles. And when we developed those and presented those, they were so excited. They couldn't wait. And so I was excited too, and I couldn't wait. And I redid all of the program to uh, to include those instead of the birds. And instead of just focusing on the schools, now I had two organizations that wanted me to come. So I was focusing now on schools and an occupational therapy program of students who were training to work with caregivers of uh, babies and children who were born with birth injuries and how they could now work better with their children. And so that was great. And as we moved forward even more, then along came another program that says, we can use you. We want this program. Can you come to us? And I said, absolutely. And so there was another one. And then when we got there, we landed, the plane was late. We ended up in our Airbnb at about 2 o'clock in the morning. I was picked up for the first location to do my first workshops at 10 o'clock in the morning, two workshops that day. The next day, more workshops, every day workshops. And we just kept going from there. And as we did the workshops, more and more, it was, wow, I didn't know it was like this. We have to make it bigger. It has to go beyond this group. For the occupational therapy, they said it has to go beyond this group. We want it in all of the programs through Tanzania. For the schools,
I wanted to just pause for a moment in that
sure.
and have our audience think about this, let this soak in. Imagine something that you are passionate about, something that is important to you, something that you know can impact your lives of families, those around you, all of a sudden be seen and be taken seriously. And for people to show interest to such a level that they would like to go ahead and expand it to a national program, a program where an entire country can now benefit from what you think is important, what you have seen benefit other families and those people around you. Uh, that's the power of, and that's message to me when I see it. It is so inspirational in that to hear this. And I have not gotten tired of hearing it. I've heard it so many times now, and I have goosebumps every time I hear it from you.
I haven't gotten tired of talking about it. You know, I never even, it's something I couldn't even have dreamed up. It looks like James is showing up there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is as soon as we see his face, I'm going to let him talk about what he did because what he did went even beyond what I had planned. I mean, he went even beyond. So James, I'm going to go ahead and let you talk now since you're here.
Yeah. So before we go into that, James, please introduce yourself and how you relate to Annette and what inspired you to go there. And then, yeah, your experience there with is welcomed as well.
Yeah, I met Annette a few weeks ago, right before the trip. No, I'm just kidding. I'm James Burnham. I'm Annette's oldest son of two, and we went recently. I joined her on the trip to Africa. She invited me to join along in the charity trip, and some stars aligned, and we were able to make it happen. And that's why we're here now.
Awesome. So, Annette,
But
what was
she
your
asked me
question
to
from
tell a
James?
little bit about what I did that was outside the plan. I think we went there with the intention of me delivering, some school supplies, maybe some sports equipment. And once there, I got the itch to do a little more. So I went with one of our companions, and he took me out to Tonga and to a beach town. We went to a school there where his sister was a teacher, and they desperately needed supplies and equipment. So just kind of on a whim, I went out and purchased a bunch more supplies and some soccer balls and some school supplies, sanitary supplies, or whatever we could think of. And then went through the process of going to the government agency, getting approval to actually go into their school and even make the donations. That took half the day. And then was able to go in there, give the donations, and just talk to the kids about staying in school, pursuing their passion, so that maybe one day they could help their community as well. I think it was pretty successful.
And James, your background is in geology, if I understand correctly.
That's correct.
Right. So there's the connect there. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. So Annette, back to you. You were continuing with the story.
Yeah. The other thing that was pretty amazing was when we started going to the schools. As we went to the schools, it turned out that you know last year we went to primary schools and secondary schools, things that we would say elementary schools and high schools, that kind of thing. This year we decided to focus only on the secondary schools. And we started to, well, okay, I want to back up just a little bit. Last year, we were giving the sanitary supplies, we were bringing the sanitary supplies to the schools. Now, as far as the sanitary supplies, these girls, they need to have the reusable, the washable sanitary supplies, because if not, they don't go to school. They don't have what they need to be able to go to school, and they miss a week of school every month. okay? Because that's what happens there. And so we bring these sanitary supplies, these washable sanitary supplies to them. One girl, and if you're seeing the pictures, I'm sure that you're seeing one that has a sewing machine with one girl sitting behind it. I'm not seeing the pictures there, but I'm sure you're seeing that. Um,
We're gonna do a slideshow at the end, and we can definitely go over some of the details.
Oh, okay. Okay. I
Let
wasn't sure when that was going to be seen. Okay. Anyway, this brave young lady, she stood up and she said, "What can we do to become self-sufficient? What can we do so we don't have to wait for you to bring these to us?" And at that moment, I just got goosebumps and I thought, and I told her, I said, "You Life Skills and Leadership is going to donate a sewing machine to this school." I didn't know how we were going to do it. I hadn't even talked to my husband, who is our financial person for the fundraiser. I just said we were going to do it because I knew that somehow we were going to. And when we returned home, we started fundraising, and within a matter of months, we had raised the funds to donate a sewing machine to that school. Um, it was so exciting this year to return to that school and to see what they were doing with that sewing machine, to meet the son of the woman who is a tailor, who is teaching them how to use that sewing machine, not only for the sanitary supplies, but also to do other types of sewing, to do different things with that sewing machine so that they can become self-sufficient. And as I told her, and as I told everybody, I said they needed to be like her, brave like her, that she had started a movement, that she was not responsible only for that sewing machine, but that she had started a movement because we were there this year to donate a second sewing machine to another school. Uh, Dr. L, through the nonprofit that he has started, Foundation for Optimal Beginnings, we were able to donate a second sewing machine. And next year we'll be donating another sewing machine. So she started a movement. And as I, talked to her, talked to the entire class about what she did, how important it is to start something. I mean, that's the thing. It's not, step outside of yourself and start something beyond you, something bigger than you. It just was so exciting. So that's why I got a picture of her with that sewing machine, because she was the one that started it all. So that was another
and
thing
then
that we were able to do.
if you want to pause, we're gonna play the slides for everyone to see so they have the visual of what you're describing. And then
Okay.
if any of the images remind you of anything else, feel free to comment on it as well. We'll come back to continuing our conversation. So there you go. If you don't mind sharing screen and showing the video as well as the sound, that would be great.
The one day it rained, we went to the waterfall. Very slippery. This is what James was talking about. This was when he went to Tonga.
James, if you can give me the information for Tonga, I can reach out to them as well.
Okay, yeah, I'll get that information. This is at the Child of God School. This was one of the locations that talked to me later, and is a church organization that actually the women's organization of the church is also going to become involved in a ministering program where they will be working with the mothers of the children, the occupational therapy of the children who have the brain injuries. So it's going to become a friendship type program as well. So we've just got so many different organizations now working together. These are all single mothers that are learning a trade. They're learning sewing, they're learning bead making. In fact, the beads that I'm wearing, they made. So they're learning bead making as well. This is when they were giving me a gift of the earrings. And so I actually purchased a lot of beads so that I can help with fundraising for them. And here we are purchasing the sewing machine that we were going to be donating to the second school that will that got their sewing machine this year. This is our occupational therapy group.
Like, find Annette. There she is.
I'm there. Yep. They were so much fun. They're actually college students. This group, they're college students, and they just were so much fun to work with. I worked with them for 3 days. They said next year we're going to do a 5-day program because it just wasn't enough. Now this is Dr. Cueca. I found out, we worked with him last year and this year, and I found out that he is also with the Tanzania mental health team. And he wants to bring this to the families and communities besides the schools. Okay, another one of the schools that we visited. This is the school that we donated the sewing machine. Or actually, this is the first sewing machine. We donated some additional materials that they had run out of. We were able to donate some additional materials to them. And there she is.
Powerful. That's a powerful image.
That's our brave young lady. Isn't that a beautiful picture?
Yes.
And really, I'm glad that was the last one because that says it all.
Yes.
I mean, that's
and your narration definitely puts the story behind the image too, which is even more powerful than just the images alone. So thank you for sharing the images, for letting us know about the journey. All right, so when you were finishing up, as you finished with Nguzu and Moto and the different schools, what was your takeaway? What was the thing that you walked away with?
there's so much more to do. There is so much more to do. Like I was saying with Dr. Cueca, I thought that he was just on the school board. Last year, I was left with that impression. He didn't tell us that he was also with the mental health team for Tanzania. Because he said that he wanted to first of all find out more about the program. Well, after finding out more about the program, he said this has to go to the communities and the families. So it has to go beyond the schools. So that's yet another area that we need to take this bigger, further. In addition to that, when we thought we were finished with work, so to speak, and we were doing a little bit of additional things, they were taking us on some cultural trips. One of the cultural trips that we went on was to a uh, kind of a woman's compound. Well, actually, it wasn't. It was more. It was families, but it was a women's co-op, you might say, where the women all worked together, um, doing the farming, and they had developed a lot of specialized farming skills, you might say. And all of these families worked together, and but the women kind of were in charge. They had built, they had a greenhouse. They had, oh gosh, everything from coffee to the bananas. They had all of these things, and they all kind of just brought it all together. They also sold it to the outside sources. All of these things was what went on. Um, they Part of how they made money too was, of course, they gave tours of what this whole compound was all about. The honey is the best honey I've ever tasted in my life. I brought home a bottle, um, but to see how they worked was amazing. And they asked what I was doing there, why I was there, and I told them a little bit about it. I explained a little bit about the program. And they said, we need this. We need you to come and teach this to us. And so I told them, next year I will do that. I will come and teach my program to you. So there again, it's like it didn't matter what I was doing or where I was going. People said, we need this. It's life skills and leadership skills. That's what we are. We are called life skills and life skills and leadership. The YOU, when we say YOU, you is know yourself. That's what you need to do first, is know yourself. The O is others. Think about others. And the U is seek to understand. Understand the needs of the world around you. And as we come to know the YOU, we become aware of the entire world as we fit into it, as we fit into the world around us. And that's what we do with the youth. But more and more we're learning that it's not just the youth that need this. It's everybody. It's everybody that needs it. We need to bring together people so that we're like this and stop being like this.
And I do want to comment on something just about what you just said about bringing together, because a lot of times people, when they talk about missions or they talk about doing work that's philanthropic, uh, they think about it as a one directional kind of a give and take process. But what you're describing is anything but that, that it is a
Oh,
going back and forth, that we learn from them just as much. Our lives are that much richer. And I mean, you're wearing the jewelry and the necklaces and those things that are you're bringing back, and the understanding that you're bringing back, and how you educate others related to the culture, related to the need, related to what they have to offer, is going to actually bring us back together as well. And that's
oh.
something that oftentimes is overlooked when it comes to missions, what you actually get out of it as well.
What I brought back was far more than beads. Uh, you know, uh, just you saw all the hugging that went on. That's who they are. They are so loving, so accepting. And it's not because we were bringing them anything. That's who they are. Just such a giving, loving, accepting people. They accept everybody for who they are, not for what they have. It's amazing. Here, you know, you're judged by what you have. How big is your house? What kind of car do you have? What do you wear? And that determines your value or your worth. It's not like that there. You might live in fact, you've got the Maasai who live in these little huts um, that are they're created out of cow dung and mud and thatch, and then you've got another house just really close to it um, that actually looks like what we might consider a house. But the key to that is they're both homes. And one isn't judged any differently than the other one because they both have homes. And
I
that's
do
what's
want to invite our
important.
audience to share thoughts and questions if they have any regarding Annette's experience or regarding doing this kind of work. We do have something called the Mission Report. We do it once a month where we bring different causes and different missions to the attention of families and experts who serve them. If you are interested in that, put mission in the chat and the team will invite you to the next one, which I believe is next Tuesday. But if you put that there, we'll definitely notify you of the upcoming missions. They're very varied as far as the subject area and the locations. So it's a great thing for you to see how many different ways there are to actually make a difference in this world. So you can just simply add that to the chat. Yeah, go ahead. Back to you, Annette.
No, yeah, there are actually so many ways to become involved in something like this. I think that probably the easiest way to become involved in something like this is to become involved in the Foundation for Optimal Beginnings. That type of a fundraiser, or not fundraiser, but organization. And I guess kind of what Dr. L was referring to is what we call the Changemaker Circle. Changemaker Circle, uh, we talk about something as simple as $10 a week, uh, $450 for the year, $449 for the year. Something as simple as that, and you can change lives. You can be part of something bigger because like one person, you say $450, that's not that big, that's not much. It's not much. But when you add that to what a whole lot of people are doing, then it's a lot. And you can do a lot more with that. So that's one way of actually becoming part of like the one girl who's sitting at the sewing machine. She couldn't do much herself all alone, but she was part of something bigger because she was willing to get involved in doing something that herself. Okay, so that's something that you get
You
involved doing
just
something
pointed out
small.
Yeah, you just pointed out to something that is very fundamental, that to bring about change, it's not the money that is important. Sure, money is important. In fact, all of you guys, please scan the QR code and support our cause. But when it comes to bringing about change, the very first thing is connecting. That girl had to connect and come and talk to you about what her vision was. Literally being at the place where you have the opportunity to connect is important. And as you mentioned, the Changemaker Circle is one of those. So if you come to the mission reports, you definitely will learn more about the Changemaker Circle as well. But for the most part, I want to make sure that you guys find something that drives you. I talked earlier about hope and purpose. And it's very easy to watch the news and get frustrated or upset about things or be disgruntled with world leaders. But it's another thing to actually go ahead and connect to venues where you can literally make a difference that ultimately will change the news and bring about change. So we highly encourage you guys to connect and get involved and be aware of what's going on.
Mhm.
Annette, what other things do you have before we finish? We have about another 9 minutes to go. The mic is yours.
Sure. Some of the things that we saw that definitely need, we didn't go in to change things. Um, because they don't, it's not like you need to be that, you need to be us. You need to be like us. We took things from them uh, that were amazing, but there are some things that need improvement. We know that. For example, when you have a school that has an average of 900 students, that's the average. Some have more, some have less, but an average of 900 students, and they have two toilets at that school. And those two toilets are basically two holes in the ground. Okay, they're porcelain, but they don't even flush. You pour some water in it, and that's considered flushing. And that's all they have because they don't have the money to put anything else in. When you see a school that, yes, they provide lunch for the kids, but that lunch is prepared over a campfire, what we would consider a campfire, an open fire, because that's all they have. They don't have any other way to prepare it, a big pot over an open fire. When these are the things that you see and you say, you know what, things could improve, even if we did nothing more than provide for additional toilets at the school. Even if we were able to provide a stove for them to prepare the food.
Well, I
Simple
know
things
that
like
many of the
this.
people that are here are listening in. They have their own set of expertise and gifts and talents as well. So many times you don't realize how needed those gifts and talents are until you really see what happens if those gifts and talents are not around, are not available, right?
Mhm.
So what the reason that Annette is being asked to go back and broaden the scope of what she does is beyond what Annette thought was the need. It was only through going there that she was made aware that there's a bigger need, that this need can be addressed through her talent and her skills. And you don't know that until you actually put yourself in the situation. So um,
Absolutely.
all of a sudden, you will have a sense of belonging, a sense of true worth, because like you said, in the West, we a lot of times talk about material things as our a piece of our worth, basically. How much do you own? How big is your house? Those type of things. But really, the true worth of you is who you are. What gifts do you bring to this world? And when you put yourself in a situation where your gifts can shine the light, that's when the brightness of your gifts really become apparent to yourself, even. So definitely
Mhm.
something to consider.
Yeah. One of the
Um,
things that we will be doing this year is looking for sponsorships for schools. You know how a lot of times you see on the TV program, sponsor a child or sponsor, that kind of a thing. Well, we're going to be looking for sponsorships for schools. The idea that you could sponsor an entire school, for companies that can do this, for $5,000 for the year. And for that, where we think, oh yeah, what can you do for that amount? Well, for them, for $5,000 per year, they could put in two more toilets. They could add a stove. They could give them, books and supplies. And I mean, there's a whole lot that they could do for that amount that to us, that may not seem like that much. For them, that's a lot of money. That's a lot
One
of
of the
money.
things that they hope to be able to deliver and bring down over there is not just us bringing materials to them and supplies, but actually create microloans. These would be $150, where they actually it creates the opportunity for them to not only increase their livelihood, but also improve their community's standard of living, and
Mhm.
also be able to empower the youth. So if you are interested in something like that to support us so we can bring microloans, again, I can't emphasize enough, please scan the QR code. Something as simple as $100 can go a long way to start a business over there. And it changes families, entire family lives, basically. And we really want to make sure that we work towards this through the Changemaker Circle in the coming year. So when we go there next year, we also have a budget for them that we can allocate to certain projects. And people can step in and borrow, and then it's paid back. So that money is going to continue to sustainably support the community. So your donation will continue over and over again to improve the community and the lives of the people there. So it's a great way to sustainably donate, basically, when it comes to it. Yeah.
We'd also like to see more people join us next year.
Yeah.
Another thing that James did this year is he spoke to a school that it's at a certain age they separate the boys and the girls in different studies, you might say. And so he spoke to about 100 boys who's who were in advanced science classes. Because again, his specialty or his job is in geology. That's what he does, is geology. And so he spoke to them about geology, about science, actually. He went beyond geology, and about how important it is for them to continue their education and to go into fields of science, and how important that is for Tanzania. Um, why they need to do that. Well, uh, to have people that have these skills, that have these talents, that have this knowledge, for me to go and say, hey, you guys need to become scientists, that doesn't matter. That's not a big deal. Um, but to have somebody who is a scientist go and say it, that's different. So to have people join us, we need that. We need people to go with us.
I have had that experience personally where you go to an underserved area, and I'm doing physician work, and the kids that are there and they're witnessing it, you know that there are wheels turning in their heads, and they're going to remember that. And it's a really powerful thing when you show up in person and you show what you're capable of. And you don't have to do any selling or pitching. It's just being absorbed, basically. So I love that experience as well. And that I
Well,
know
that
that
was one
time
thing
is
that James
short.
didn't. That was one thing that James didn't say that I wish he had. He told me that when he was in Tonga, and giving the things out to the kids there and talking to the kids there and all that, he said that one boy asked if he could say something to the class, and so it had to be translated for him. But the boy told his classmates that they needed to take their education seriously, and they needed to listen to what James was saying, because this was really important, that James was willing to come all this way and let them give them this information and give them these things, everything, because he was willing to do this, that they really needed to take it seriously and become somebody and do something important with their lives. And James says that it made him emotional. It just made him almost tear up. And James just doesn't get emotional. So, that's what this does for you. James did go way beyond. It did good to a mother's heart, I'm telling you. um, he went way beyond um, anything that he had expected, anything that he had anticipated. So yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing to watch his growth. So I mean, when you think of yourself going, um, yes, it's for them, but the growth that you will have by going, um, it's something you can't get any other way.
Well, thank you, Annette. I really appreciate it. Everyone, please make sure that you support our cause by donating to Foundation for Optimal Beginnings. And ultimately, if you would like to be part of these, put mission in the chat. You don't necessarily have to go to Tanzania. There are many different ways to contribute and to be part of something that is great, something that makes the world better. And we want you to be part of it. We want you to benefit from it as well. After all, that's what these summits, these experts, they're all after the same thing. They have the same best interest of you in heart. And this is part of it, basically. So if you don't like what's going on in the world, this is a place where you can
Change
actually
it.
go ahead and do something about it. Exactly. So with that being said, I also wanted to let you guys know that we are going to be switching Zoom tracks. I am going to have Silverio put the link. Actually, it's already in the chat for you guys. So as we finish this, we have a longer duration intermission between this session and the next one. And I do want to comment on this. Last year when we went, part of the reason when we talked about the feminine health and hygiene was the fact that the girls, as they start having their cycles, they are not allowed to go to school. And that causes them to start falling behind on their assignments. And as they fall behind on their assignments, their grades slip, and eventually they're not competent enough or competitive enough to be able to ascend to the next level, to the next grade. And so they end up dropping out of school, which then leads to other challenges and issues. So there is an issue of exploitation, there's the issue of trafficking, there's an issue of early marriage, and things that basically exist but is not quite apparent to us. So something as simple as feminine hygiene could have very broad and deep societal implications. And those little changes go a long way. You never know what you say and do today might affect it and change the lives of millions tomorrow. So this is a great example of it. So with that being said, please make sure that you click on the Zoom link that Silverio has shared in the chat, or search it in your email that has come through in your inbox, and make sure that you join us for the remainder of the sessions. I believe I have 2 more talks, and Patrice has 3 more experts that we still need to interview. So we have 5 more speakers for you before the finale. Please make sure that you stay to the end. The finale is a big celebration, and we want every single one of you involved, and encourage you guys to participate with us. Thank you for this. Annette, thank you again. Please, everybody, give a round of applause and lots of love in the chats for Annette. And we will be back with you shortly on the new track in about 10 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
And save the chat, guys. 3 dots.
Thank you for joining us for another amazing session from the Health, Wealth, and Wisdom Parents Edition. For the recordings of all sessions, plus an amazing VIP bundle, upgrade to VIP now. If you run into any problems during the summit, email our support team at admin@rolemodelmaker.com. Stay tuned. We have another fantastic guest coming right up.